What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today we are going to be showcasing one of the brand new gear sets just added into the Division 2 with the World Tier 5 update. And so, let's get started. Now, the set we're going to be looking at today is called True Patriot. Just like the other gear sets in the game, the more pieces of True Patriot gear you wear, the more bonuses you're going to get. Unlike normal pieces of armor that are branded, you don't get any bonus for putting on one single piece of True Patriot gear. The bonuses start at 2. So, for wearing 2 pieces, you get plus 10% damage to armor. With 3 pieces, you get plus 10% protection from elites. For 4 pieces, you get plus 10% total armor. And then for 5 and 6 pieces, you have the main perks of this set. The first one, for 5, is red, white, and blue. When you shoot an enemy, apply a debuff to them. Debuffs are applied in the order red, then white, then blue, cycling every 4 seconds. So essentially, to break that down, you're going to start with the red debuff. For 4 seconds, any enemies you shoot, no matter how much you shoot them, are going to be inflicted with the red debuff, and only the red debuff. Then it's going to switch over to white. You have 4 seconds to inflict enemies with that. And you can hit the same enemy that's already inflicted with a red debuff. So then they'll have red and white, and then 4 seconds later, it switches over to blue. And yes, that means you can inflict an enemy if you're shooting them long enough with the red debuff and the white debuff and the blue debuff at the exact same time. But what do these debuffs do? Well, when they're hit with the red debuff, it decreases the damage dealt by that enemy. With the white, it restores armor to friendlies that shoot this enemy. And with the blue, it boosts skill cooldown reduction to friendlies that shoot this enemy. Now, we then have one more perk with all 6 pieces being utilized called Full Flag. Shooting an enemy that has all 3 debuffs will deal 25% damage to other nearby enemies that have at least one of the debuffs. So, how that's going to work and the master scenario that you're trying to construct when using this set is as follows. You have a bunch of enemies all spawning, perhaps you're fighting a control point, what have you, and you shoot all of these enemies and inflict at least one debuff. Like you just spray and pray and get like 5 enemies with some red and some white, it doesn't really matter. Then you have one single boss character. You focus fire down this boss and inflict red and white and blue on them over time. As you're damaging this big boss, perhaps it's like one of the big bulky guys with a chain gun that you have to destroy their armor, all the damage you're doing to that guy, 25% of it is being dealt to all of those other enemies that you marked. Therefore, when you take down the big boss, those other enemies maybe have already died without you having to fire an extra shot at them, or are at least considerably weaker so that you can take them out much, much faster. And you can see that perk in action right here. I'm shooting one enemy and harming the other. Now, undoubtedly, that is a powerful perk, to be killing enemies without even shooting them. Just have them die in the background when you're focusing fire on the guy that you probably want to focus fire on, the boss character. Additionally, when all of this is going on, when this scenario is unfolding, you're also getting the benefits of the debuffs inflicted on enemies. And by the way, when it does say friendlies, that does include yourself. You can see from this clip here, I utilize a skill within the firing range, then I inflict the blue debuff, which increases recharge rate, and you can see it's counting down slowly, like once every second, 60, 59, 58, 57. Then I hit the enemy with the blue debuff, I do some damage, and then it's suddenly 55, 54, 53, it counts down quite a bit faster. So again, you can benefit yourself just playing solo by using these debuffs. With that being said, the true benefit of this set is in a group setting. The fact that all 3 of your teammates can recharge their skills faster, can get their armor back faster by shooting enemies just because you have inflicted them with that debuff is very, very beneficial. But just how powerful are these debuffs? Well, we already showed the example of skill recharge with the blue one, and it is pretty decent. It's a noticeable decrease in your recharge time. That's very, very good. So if you do have teammates or you yourself is using offensive skills, that you want to use quite a bit and you want to use to kill enemies, stuff like turrets, seeker mines, all of that stuff, drones, those are going to benefit greatly from more recharge rate. But that doesn't mean that your normal healing skills won't also benefit from greater recharge, just not as noticeably. Now, as for the white benefit, you can see its effects right here. And they're very, very little. Like, as you can see, when I'm shooting this enemy with the white debuff, my health goes up. It definitely, you can see it go up, but it's very, very minor. Especially when you consider that utilizing a full True Patriot set means that you don't get any benefits of brand set bonuses. You can't even get armor perks. There's a glove perk out there that gives you armor back on a critical hit. Just a critical hit. There's a brand set bonus that gives you 15% of your armor back just for getting a kill. So kill a red bar, get a pretty big chunk of your armor back. You're missing out on all of those things for a very small amount of armor regeneration. As for reducing damage dealt as well, it's nice, it's going to increase your survivability, but it's not like you can really tank enemies. When everything is red, you are still very much at the mercy of an enemy flanking you. You still get destroyed by grenades. It's not a hugely noticeable increase in survivability. It's definitely there, but it certainly won't change your playstyle or anything like that. And that is really the downside of using this gear set. Just like the last one we looked at, Ongoing Directive, you are absolutely getting benefits for utilizing True Patriot, and they are noticeable benefits, and they will help you within gameplay. But once you start to add up and realize all of the benefits you're missing out on for not getting any brand set bonuses, for not getting any armor perks, that really, really outweighs the benefits of True Patriot. Like, think of all the elite damage you're missing out on because you can't get the perk 15% increased damage to elites, right? Think of all the survivability you're missing out on with the bonus armor perks. Yes, you get plus 10% total armor for wearing 4 pieces, but that's also just a random perk that can spawn on a piece of high-end armor. So just put that on and you get the 4-piece set. And you can also get an additional perk on that same armor piece, right? And you also get a brand perk from that same exact armor piece. Do you know what I'm saying? There are so many things, so many bonuses and increases to your survivability, increases to your lethality that you get from these other benefits that giving up on all of them to get the full 6-piece set of True Patriot, I just don't see as worth it or viable as an endgame build. But with the one exception, because this is so team focused and because the debuffs are affecting all of your teammates, that does actually mean that just one person running a True Patriot set in a group setting can actually be worth it, especially if multiple members of your group are relying on skills, because the benefit you get from the blue debuff is by far the most noticeable. And although this may not be as insane right now, once 8-player raids come out and one person can be giving benefits of armor generation, skill regeneration, and increased survivability to not 3 other players, but 7 other players, suddenly 7 players, well technically 8 including yourself, all getting skills more often, okay, then we've got a real conversation on our hands about this set's viability. And I think in that scenario, it may absolutely be very meta to just have one person running this set. But guys, that is it for the video. Those are my thoughts on this armor set and the discussion of the bonuses. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Division 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.